It's the Gear Tester here, and welcome to my review of the Magpul Dynamics Art of the Tactical Carbine DVD set. I'm going to be reviewing both the Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the second edition of this series. As I begin this review, I want to give you some information about my thinking and my kind of approach to firearms training and knowledge. And so for me, the Second Amendment, as a citizen of the United States, the Second Amendment allows me the right to own a firearm and to have the bullets that go to that firearm and to use that firearm if I have to in a life and death situation. But the Second Amendment should be more than just that. Having the right to own a firearm, having the right to use it, should cause me to seek information and knowledge that allows me to effectively employ that skill or that use of lethal force. What I found is over the last 8 years of intentional gun ownership and seeking professional training, and that hasn't been for that entire 8 years that I've sought that training, but in the last couple years I've been more intentional about seeking training and skills. What I found is that when I become more competent, as my skill grows, whether that's with the use of a pistol or with a rifle, okay, that as my skill set grows, as my competency grows, it breeds confidence. I'm not worried now, have I done this? Am I being safe? I know I'm being safe. I know my finger's being kept off the trigger. I know, particularly when it comes to the use of a pistol, I know that as I can leave this gun in my holster for a longer period of time now because I know how quick I can get it out, and I know that I'll do that effectively and efficiently, which means I'm less likely to do something stupid with a pistol or a rifle because my knowledge has increased and my skill set has increased, and therefore I have confidence, okay? And so that's why I think I'm bringing this review to you, my viewers and subscribers, because I want you to have that experience too. Okay, I also want to just let you know here that these two DVDs, their primary focus is on the AR-15 family of rifles. One AK is featured a little bit in this first volume, but basically AR-15s are the primary focus here. And they look at mindset, skills, tactics, and gear. Both DVDs do that very well. But what I appreciate about both sets of DVDs here is they help create a warrior mindset. Because we're talking about defensive use of firearms, lethal use of firearms in a legal situation where you would be defending your life or the lives of your loved ones. That's my approach. That's how I'm going to be using this information. And so it helps to build a warrior mindset. And that's something that in a polite society that we don't focus very much on. And I think that needs to be a level of focus if you're going to go to the work of owning a firearm, the money, okay, the time, the energy of owning a firearm to having it for self-defense, whether that's concealed carry inside the home, a long gun, etc. You need to be seeking to have a warrior mindset. And one thing that annoys me on a number of reviews that I produced over the years, people talk about, oh, you don't need 15 bullets. You don't need an additional magazine to back up a pistol. You're not going into combat. Well, anytime I'm fighting, anytime I might have to use a firearm or even a knife in a defensive situation, I'm fighting for my life. It may not be Fallujah, right? It may not be some crazy environment where I've got the entire nation or the entire town trying to kill me. But anytime I employ weaponry to defend myself, that's fighting. And that's a warrior mindset. And I don't want to live in a society where that is required, where I have to be continually in a warrior mindset all the time. But I do think that it is a component of firearms ownership that oftentimes gets ignored or does not receive the appropriate focus that it should from armed American citizens that are exercising their Second Amendment rights. And what I fear is there are too many people who own guns, okay, in the United States who are not seeking to be trained and equipped and have the knowledge that will help them not use their firearms in situations where it is not justified and it is unwise to use them. There are too many people who have guns that have not sought competent instruction and who have not approached the Second Amendment and firearms ownership in a way that values all human life. All human life. I own a firearm. I have the right to own a firearm and use a firearm because my life is valuable. And the lives of my family members are valuable, and also the lives of the person who might be creating a potential threat is also valuable. So if and when I have to use these guns, they better be used in a responsible way that I can justify legally and before my God. Because human life is the most precious, valuable thing on this planet. And so it's in that framework that I bring you my review of the Magpul Dynamics Art of the Tactical Carbine, both Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the second edition. And I think it's a very, very useful series. You're going to pay about $40, about $20 for each set of DVDs. You're going to get 4 DVDs with each set, both Volume 1 and Volume 2. And I think the information is very helpful and very beneficial. It's worth the money, about $20 so you're $40 for the 2 of them. I think what's important about a DVD set like this is not going to replace actually going and taking a tactical carbine course from competent instructors, but it does allow you to, many of us have busy schedules. I know I'm very busy. And what that means is I don't necessarily have the ability to just go on whatever weekday or whatever portion of time where courses are being held. Sometimes I have to pick and choose because of my job, because of my schedule. But having a DVD set allows me to pick up 40 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and I can work through. It's taking me about a week and I have to work through both these DVD sets. And it's fit into my schedule. I think that's what's beneficial. It also gets me thinking. Now when I go out to the range, I've got drills, I've got movement, I've got ways to position my body that I maybe haven't thought about before. And so then as I go out and shoot, I'm able to kind of practice or play around with these things and see what works for me and incorporate the information that's in these DVDs. So I think that that's one of the reasons these are beneficial. Secondarily, you know who are on these DVDs, okay? The people that primarily are focused on here is Chris Costa, and he was in law enforcement and in the Coast Guard for many years. And I'm not sure if Travis Haley's pictured here on the back of any of these. No, he's not. But Travis Haley, who currently worked with Magpul many years ago and continues to do a number of things in the tactical training and equipment world. Okay, so both guys, you're getting information from people that have real world experience and that the information they're giving you can trust. YouTube's a great tool, a great community, but you might not want to trust everything you hear from everybody that just has a rifle and a camera and a YouTube account. And so I think that it's good. I wish that I would have had this information, spent the money and gotten this information 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It would have helped me make better decisions with my gear and training. One thing that I would just point out here is that you're getting 8 DVDs here. And so you just are going to be putting time in and you're actually getting a lot of information, which I think is beneficial. Let's just look really quickly here. This is the Art of the Tactical Carbine Volume 1. Okay, and you can see here disc 1 has got 135 minutes in it. Okay, and it covers, some just basic stuff. The basic course, magazine placement, administrative reloads, battle zero, okay, speed reload, reaction drills, the moving move drill, barricade and obstacle shooting, and then kind of a final exercise, and then other information is included there. Disc 2 is 80 minutes. Talks about transitioning, different drills, okay, lateral movement, diagonal movement, okay, some bonus features there. And then Disc 3, which has 70 minutes of information on it, really allows these quick reference drills is really nice because the information that was included in Disc 1 and Disc 2, you might have a hard time finding that one drill you're struggling with, or maybe you're like, I really want to look at how Travis or how Chris we're doing the administrative reload. Well, in disc 3, these quick reference drills allow you to find that information, and they actually have them in slow motion. So normal speed and like 30% speed and then 50% speed. Okay, and that's true for disc for the volume 2 as well. And then you just have some lost footage, some left-handed techniques, speed reload breakdown, and additional malfunction clearance drills. Okay, so and then some outtakes, some bloopers. So it's got a lot of good information, and I think this one would have probably been the most beneficial to me about 5 years ago for selecting gear, understanding how to manipulate my weapon, and how to clear malfunctions, and how to move and shoot and manipulate the firearm around me in my body on the range. I think for me currently, with my level of knowledge, I'm seeking more knowledge, and one of the reasons that I am watching these DVDs is I'm gearing up, I'm setting up to go and take a tactical carbine course here in the next couple months. So I'm wanting to kind of saturate myself with information ahead of time so that I know the words and the terminology that they're potentially going to be using at my courses, and being able to tell what's going on more quickly. So I've got exposure to the information. So for me, the second volume is actually more challenging because it's got a little bit more stuff going on in it that I hadn't been as exposed to. So we've got, again here, disc 1, we've got the safety briefing, zeroing, loading, dynamic kneeling, dynamic prone, check drills, okay, urban prone. And so this stuff is what's interesting to me. I haven't seen a lot of this, how we position our bodies, the way we lay our legs on the ground that increase our accuracy at longer distances, increase our stability, and actually decrease the chances of getting shot or hurt. Okay, then days 2 and 3. So this is really like a 3-day course here on the volume 2, and it's more advanced. We have malfunctions. They spend a lot of time on malfunctions drills, and that's something I haven't encountered. I've bought quality AR-15s, and I haven't encountered a lot of malfunctions, but they go through a lot of malfunctions drills that are really, really interesting to me. How we clear a malfunction with our left hand, assuming that our right hand has been hurt and our gun's gone down, and having to clear that one hand, and how we manipulate things, or just with your primary hand, your right hand. So very interesting, very interesting. I'm glad that I've had that information kind of in my head. I'm going to probably watch these 1 or 2 more times here in the next month or two to kind of be saturating myself with all this information and ideas. Disc 3 has some quick reference drills, so you're able to find, like, if you're struggling with the check drill, you're able to find that here in the quick reference drill section on disc 3. You got a reality check, just some information from them, outtakes, and then kind of like a trailer of different other DVD sets that Magpul has produced over the years. And these were produced in 2011, okay, but the information is still useful, and I think very, very effective. So I don't think just because this is like 5 years old since the most recent copyright that somehow this is bad information. Human beings, the way we Travis Haley, who's more featured in this volume 2 than in the second half of the first volume, he's really interested in the way, like, the body interacts and the way our skeletal structure and muscles move and work when we're walking, we're moving, we're laying on the ground, when we're doing stuff like manipulating a rifle, okay? And so for me, it might appear that he has an overemphasis on some of this stuff, but the more I think about it, the more I watch this stuff. I've already been exposed to some of his information in the past before watching these DVDs. But when you think about how you're going to transition from holding a weapon, switching up, any number of things, he's really worried about body mechanics and efficiency, and that's something that maybe I have not focused on or thought about as much. And so I really appreciate Travis's information, Travis Haley of Haley Strategic. Now, I don't think when these were really produced 5 years ago that Haley Strategic, Travis Haley's company, was up and running like it is now. But just very, very interesting stuff. Then disc 4 here, we just have a bunch of information. This would have been really beneficial to me as I was selecting gear. At this point, I've kind of selected my gear and what's working for me. And some of the gear that I have is not covered in this, but M4 variations, optics, suppressors, muzzle accessories, okay, all this different stuff, slings, body armor, all that stuff is covered. So it's a great download of information. And you know, personally, I think it's worth the money. $40 for all this information, to know that you're getting it from competent instructors, and to be able to have access to it, and really those quick reference drills were really beneficial. So I've already taken last year a training course from a company called Tactical Response in fighting pistol, and my review of that will be out here in the next couple weeks. And I found that very helpful, and I've incorporated some of the information that I learned in that fighting pistol drill, fighting pistol class from Tactical Response, into the way I do reloads, into the way I do a 360-degree check, the Wyatt protocol that's slightly modified by James Yeager and his instructors. Fight, assess, scan, top off, okay, has been very beneficial both in the way I operate a pistol, okay, and in the way I'm operating a rifle now. But this information was additionally helpful to me, and I'm looking forward to taking a fighting rifle course in the next couple months. And you know, I would recommend these DVDs to you. They're definitely worth the money. The fact that you can just watch 30 minutes here, 40 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and kind of progress through the course, and then allows you, you know, to take this out to the range with you, maybe even the computer, and do some of those quick reference drills yourself, just kind of testing them out and seeing how it works for you, I think is really useful. And this doesn't replace, in my mind, these two DVDs in no way replace an actual training course, a 2-day or 3-day training course in the use of your rifle. But they do help jumpstart you if you haven't had that information and you're seeking it. They are a great place to begin gaining that information or to challenge yourselves. This DVD here, the Volume 2, was uniquely challenging to me in the way we lay down, the way you would lay down on the ground, the way you would manipulate your body, the way you would shift from right shoulder to left shoulder if you have to do offhand shooting or around a barricade. Really valuable. So thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. My goal here at the TheGearTester YouTube channel is to produce quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear, seeking quality training and information from trusted individuals is part of that equation. This is the TheGearTester signing off.